If you're feeling drained, overwhelmed, or quietly aching inside, pause for a moment. This message is for you. There are times in life when everything seems fine on the surface, but inside, the story is very different. It's like a silent storm, a pain that no one can see. Your thoughts are tangled, your chest feels tight, and the silence around you feels louder than ever. If this sounds familiar, know that you're not alone. Truly, you're not. And here's something powerful to reflect on. The path to healing doesn't begin outside, but from within you. You don't need to search far because the calm, strength, and love you need are already inside of you, patiently waiting to be found. Today, we begin a gentle journey, an inward walk inspired by Buddhist wisdom. We will explore 10 timeless truths that can gently reopen the door to your soul once again. These aren't just teachings, but medicine for the heart. Let this moment not just be another video, but a space where your emotions are welcomed, where your mind rests and your spirit breathes. Close your eyes for a moment, if you can. Breathe slowly. Feel this moment. This is the start of healing. You deserve peace, you deserve love, you deserve to become whole again. Now let's take the first step together, guided gently by Buddha, toward inner tranquility, compassion, and self-respect. Lesson 1. Everything is in motion. Nothing stays still. Pain has the power to make us feel paralyzed, as if time has stopped and sadness will never leave. But the truth, whispered through every moment of life, is simple. Nothing lasts forever. Perhaps you've lived days that seemed endless, moments when loneliness and pain surrounded you like a storm, and it felt like light was too far to reach. Have you ever wondered, will this ever end? Will I ever feel whole again? And yet, life moves on. The seasons change. The tides rise and fall. The sun sets and rises without fail. This is what we call the law of impermanence, central to Buddha's teachings. No emotion, no pain, no moment of joy or circumstance lasts forever. When we are drowned in sadness, it feels like we're trapped in it. But just as winter gives way to spring, your suffering will transform one day. The weight you carry now will become lighter. It will be a memory, not a burden. Even the darkest night must surrender to the light of morning, and so is your pain. It will pass. This moment is not the whole story of your life. It is just a chapter. What seems unbearable today will give birth to a stronger version of you tomorrow. Difficulties shape us, deepen our understanding, and prepare us for a brighter path ahead. So, when you feel overwhelmed, remember, this is not permanent. It's just a passing wave in the vast ocean of your life. Trust the flow of time. Trust that peace is right ahead. Lesson 2. Accept your pain. Don't run from it. Healing begins when we stop resisting. It is born from honesty. Like a small flame lit in a dark room, healing starts quietly when we accept what we're feeling. This is the moment to say yes to the pain. Pain is not something to run from, but something that needs to be acknowledged. How many times have we tried to hide our wounds? We put on a smile, pretend everything is fine, but inside the pain waits quietly, unheard, unhealed. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that what we refuse to feel never truly heals. The more we run from the pain, the more it chases us. It's not trying to destroy us, it's trying to be heard. So instead of asking, "Why are you here?" try saying, "You have something to teach me. What do you want to show me?" Sit with it, listen to it, let it speak, even if its language is silence. Pain is not your enemy. It is a message, a lost part of you that wants to come back home. When you embrace it, when you make space for it, it begins to soften. And in that moment, something sacred happens. You begin to make peace with yourself. True strength is not in pretending you aren't shaken, but in admitting that you are hurt and choosing to grow despite it. Every pain is a line in your story. Every tear carries a truth, and every crack is the place where the light of transformation can enter. It's not about being perfect, just real. Because by accepting your flaws, you begin to reclaim your wholeness. Lesson 3. The power of self-compassion. True healing doesn't begin when others start loving you, but when you begin to love yourself. We often crumble over small things: a cold shoulder, an unmet expectation, a lack of recognition. These moments hurt not just because of what others have done, but because of what they have awakened in us. Doubt, insecurity, and the painful question, "Am I not worthy?" But here's a quiet truth. It's not the lack of love from others that hurts us the most, it's the lack of love from ourselves. We seek validation from the outside, hoping someone will make us feel whole, but we forget to see ourselves, to hear ourselves, to love ourselves. Buddha teaches us, you, like everyone else in the universe, deserve your love and affection. Imagine how your life would change if you treated yourself as someone worthy of kindness. What if, every morning, instead of criticizing yourself, you offered yourself a gentle smile? What if your past mistakes became lessons, not tools for self-criticism? What if, instead of seeking external approval, you whispered to yourself, I am enough. I am whole as I am. This is not arrogance, it is inner strength. Self-love is not about indulgence, but about recognition. It is the quiet act of sitting with your feelings, holding your breaks with tenderness, and not abandoning yourself when you need support the most. When you learn to love who you are, you stop fearing solitude. You stop needing constant external validation, and you begin to create deep, unshakable roots within yourself. Lesson 4. The remedy of silence. Healing doesn't always come from doing more. Sometimes it comes from doing nothing. In our busy lives, we're always moving toward goals, people, and distractions, but we rarely take a pause to look inward. We become accustomed to the noise, not only around us, but also within our own minds. But what if the clarity you're seeking wasn't in more movement, but in stillness? Buddha taught us that a disciplined mind brings happiness, and this discipline begins in silence, because only in quiet moments can we hear what's truly going on inside of us. Try this. Put everything aside, close your eyes, and let the outside world disappear. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. Silence may feel overwhelming. Old wounds, buried thoughts, and hidden fears may surface, but that's where transformation begins. When we stop running from ourselves, we begin to find ourselves. You may start to hear a soft voice saying, "You are not broken. You are just tired. Come back to yourself." That voice isn't the ego, it is your soul, patiently waiting to be heard. Sitting in silence isn't easy, but it's sacred. As you make space for quietude, something starts to change. The mental confusion begins to dissolve, the tension in your chest lessens, and you begin to see things as they really are, without the filter of fear or anxiety. And slowly, your inner world begins to soften, and a gentle light appears where confusion once was. This is the space where true healing begins. It's not in escapism, but in presence. So next time life feels noisy, heavy, or too fast, try something radical. Stop, breathe, close your eyes, and gently enter your inner silence. There you'll discover that the peace you've been seeking has been quietly waiting for you all along. Lesson 5. The present moment is where life really happens. True peace is not found by digging into the past or running toward the future. It is discovered here in this one precious moment. Often we wake up but carry the weight of yesterday on our shoulders. We go through the day, but our thoughts are stuck in regrets, memories, or things we can't change. And at night, instead of resting, we're tormented by the fear of tomorrow. This is invisible suffering, being physically present, but mentally elsewhere. Buddha taught us that true life only exists in the present moment. And yet, we spend most of our lives anywhere but here. We replay old mistakes, relive past pains, and invent problems for the future, while the present quietly slips through our fingers. But think for a moment. Can you rewrite the past by obsessing over it? Can you control the future with worries? All we really have is the now. Healing begins when we return to what is real. This moment, right now. Feel your breath rising and falling. Listen to the sounds around you, the birds, the wind, the silence. Notice your own presence, not your story, not your identity, but simply you being. This is not about ignoring the past or neglecting the future, but about refusing to lose what is already here, because every second that passes is a part of your life that you will never have again. When you begin to value the present, your mind softens, your heart opens, and you begin to heal. Not because life becomes easier, but because you stop abandoning the only place where life really happens. So, next time your mind travels to what was or what might be, pause gently. Ask yourself, am I losing what is happening now? Breathe deeply, look around and say, I'm here, I'm enough. This moment is mine. Lesson 6. Trace the pain to its roots. There is a truth that Buddha taught, often ignored. All pain has a cause. When we clearly see the cause, suffering begins to dissolve. Let's dive into a familiar story, not of a famous person, but of someone like you and me. Imagine a young man named Arjun. One day, in school, he makes a small mistake. But instead of being corrected gently, his father scolds him in front of everyone. Laughter echoes and shame seeps in. The moment ends, but something inside Arjun doesn't go away. Years pass. Arjun finishes school, lands a good job, builds a life. But whenever someone criticizes him, even lightly, he feels a wave of anxiety. His hands tremble, his confidence disappears. People around him say, "You're too sensitive," but no one sees the scar left behind, a wound he's never acknowledged, let alone healed. Buddha told us, when the root of a tree dries up, its branches can't bloom. Similarly, when we ignore the origin of our emotional pain, our outer life may look fine. Smiles, success, distractions, but inside, the roots are withering. What should we do? More distractions? Forced positive thinking? No. True healing begins in stillness. It begins when we stop running and ask, when did this pain start? Why does it affect me so much? Maybe someone betrayed you, your dreams were ridiculed, or perhaps you turned your back on yourself. But buried wounds don't disappear. They grow silently, waiting to be seen, whispering through our fears and reactions. Buddha taught that understanding is liberation. The moment you turn inward and ask, what is the origin of this suffering? You light the first candle on your path to peace. It's not medicine, it's not applause, just the truth. And the truth seen clearly is the beginning of freedom. Lesson 7. Stop comparing yourself to others. There is a silent thief that steals more joy than failure: comparison. It sneaks in subtly, often disguised as motivation, but it slowly corrodes our sense of value. Buddha reminded us that comparing our lives to others is a natural impulse, but when we feed this habit, it turns toxic. Today, it's easy to fall into this trap. At any moment, we can open our phones and there they are. People seemingly living their best lives. Someone exploring the Alps, another getting promoted, another getting married in Bali. A perfect world, edited, of moments that make us question, what about me? What am I missing? But this question comes from an illusion. When we compare our path to someone else's, we ignore our own story. The battles we fought, how far we've come, the victories won in moments when no one was looking. We forget that each soul is a unique book, and judging our value by someone else's cover is not only unfair, it's harmful. Your life was not made to follow someone else's schedule. Your growth, your pace, your achievements, all of them come in their own time, just as the sun and the moon shine, but at different moments. Buddha told us, don't compare your life to others. There is no comparison between the sun and the moon. They shine when it's their time. Let this truth sink in. You have your time, your light, and you are not behind. You're on the right path. So today, make a silent promise to yourself. I will not measure my worth by someone else's path. I will honor my own rhythm, my own journey. Because peace begins when comparison ends. Lesson 8. Forgive yourself and others. Forgiveness is not weakness. It's a release. A quiet and courageous act that frees the soul before it reaches the one who hurt you. Buddha knew this very well and taught that forgiveness is not something we do for others first, but something we offer ourselves. We all carry wounds, moments when someone said or did something that cut us deeply. Perhaps it was a betrayal, humiliation, or abandonment. And for many, the temptation is to cling to the pain, relive the memory over and over, waiting for justice or revenge. I will never forget, we say. They don't deserve forgiveness. But pause for a moment. Has holding on to this grudge brought you peace? Has it healed the pain? The truth is, anger is like a fire that consumes the one who carries it. The more we hold on, the heavier it gets. We think we're protecting ourselves, but in reality we're carrying poison and hoping the other feels the pain. Buddha said, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. Resentment doesn't hurt who has wronged us, but it hurts us every single day. Forgiveness doesn't mean erasing the pain or pretending it never happened. It means choosing to release the burden it left. And this doesn't only apply to others, but to yourself. Perhaps the hardest person to forgive is the one you see in the mirror, for the choices you regret, the dreams unfulfilled, the words left unsaid. Self-forgiveness is the portal to self-love. Until you offer compassion to yourself, healing can't truly begin. So today, take a step. Release the resentment, both from others and yourself, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. This act of letting go will do more for your soul than years of silent suffering. Forgiveness is not a favor, it is freedom. And when you offer it, you'll find that it is the most powerful gift you can give to your soul. Lesson 9. Practice mindfulness. Have you ever felt mentally exhausted? We think of fatigue only as something the body feels after a long day of work or physical activities, but today, the greatest exhaustion we face is mental. Our thoughts race non-stop, one after another without pause. A thought about yesterday's regret, another about tomorrow's worries, and in the midst of all this, we lose something precious, the peace of the present moment. Buddha taught us a simple yet profound path to peace, mindfulness. It's not just about meditating or sitting in silence, but about bringing full awareness to everything we do. Every task, no matter how small, can become an act of mindfulness. How do you start your day? Most of us grab our phones first thing, jumping straight into the noise of the outside world. But what if instead, when you open your eyes, you simply took a deep breath, feeling the softness of the mattress beneath you? And as you go through your morning routine, be present. When you brush your teeth, pay attention to the bristles of the toothbrush, the cold touch of the water, the fresh sensation in your mouth. These small things, when experienced with full awareness, can bring a great shift to your life. Your heart and mind begin to connect, and the day starts with a sense of peace. Mindfulness spreads into all parts of life. When you eat, put your phone aside. Savor each bite, not just as food, but as a gift. When you walk, feel every step, the connection between your feet and the ground, the rhythm of your movement. This doesn't only relieve the body, but also calms the mind. In your profession, focus on one task at a time, eliminating distractions and giving your full attention to what's in front of you. And even in your interactions with others, practice mindfulness. When someone talks to you, listen for real. Don't interrupt, don't plan your response while they speak. Just be present with their words. This simple act creates deeper, more meaningful connections. At first, it may seem strange, as our minds are used to rushing. But with daily practice, you'll start to feel the change. The more present you are, the more peace will be welcomed into your life. Remember, peace is not in distant places or grand dreams. It is right here in this moment, in every breath. And as you become more mindful, life becomes steadier, and you begin to know yourself in a deeper way. Lesson 10. Treat every morning as a new beginning. Every morning is like a blank page, waiting for you to write your own story. But if you keep writing yesterday's story on this new page, how can you expect something new to happen? No matter how painful, messy, or heavy your past has been, today's sun rises without judging who you were yesterday. It simply lights the way ahead, full of warmth and endless possibilities. Start each day with the thought, today I can renew myself. Today, you have the chance to be kinder, to forgive, to heal. Today, you can mend a broken relationship, take the first step toward your dream, or simply embrace the peace that is already within your reach. Each morning, life whispers, here is another chance. You have the power to shape the kind of day you want to live. Will you let it be dominated by worry, stress, and confusion, or will you fill it with peace, love, and mindfulness? The choice is yours, and in that choice lies your greatest strength. Each day brings the power of a new beginning. But how often do we wake up still carrying the weight of yesterday? Regret, arguments, unfinished tasks, yesterday's pain. We let those heavy feelings rise with us. Every morning we follow our routine, brushing our teeth, having breakfast, going to work, but inside we're still trapped in the energy of the day before. But pause for a moment. If you had a new life every morning, would you still carry the pain, anger, and fatigue of the day before? Buddha taught us that every morning is a new opportunity. Remember that and embrace the chance to renew yourself. Buddha taught us that every morning is a new chance, a fresh beginning. Healing begins when we stop fighting the changes and start flowing with them. Not because life becomes perfect, but because we stop expecting it to remain the same. And in that flow we find peace, growth and rebirth. If this message touched your heart, know that this is just the beginning. There are many timeless teachings that can guide you on your healing journey. Subscribe to the channel and walk with us, one insight at a time. And if you know someone who needs this message, share it with them. Remember, nothing lasts forever, and that's what makes this moment so special.